everybody. My name's Tom. I'm a professor at the University of the Fraser Valley in the Agriculture Department, and what I do is I teach the practical hands-on stuff at the university, such as vegetable production, fruit production, like berries, tree fruit, and that kind of stuff. I teach the practical hands-on horticulture stuff, some of the theory of it too, nursery production, and greenhouse production. I teach a few other things, but that's my focus, that practical hands-on production. And I thought, look at, with this COVID-19 thing going on, everybody will be trying to grow some stuff. So why don't I show you a few of the basics and show you how to grow. Maybe you can take some of that and put it into your own home garden or your patio, your planter, or even just inside the house in the windowsill. I will have some of my assistants, their current students and graduates, also do a few videos. We'll also be supporting this with some pictures, some PowerPoint shows on the website, etc. So just enjoy that. To start with, the first thing is when you start gardening after the winter is done, you're going to just totally get your back out of sorts. Or you have a strain on your hand, or your knee, or whatever. So just do it slowly. Just fine. Also, wear protective eyewear when you're doing something. You don't want to get soil into your face. You don't want to, with sharp objects, you're weeding or something, all of a sudden have a rock in your eye. Not a good thing. Just think safety. Have a first aid kit available. When you bend down, when you kneel down, get yourself a little foamy pad. They're cheap, or find some old, I don't know, some pants and throw them down and kneel on them instead of on a rock or something like that, because it hurts. Also, I prefer using gloves on my hands simply because it's very cool to not wear them and have hands that look like they've just been through a forest fire. Just don't. Just wear the gloves. It's good protection, especially when you prune roses or blackberries or something like that with thorns on them, some big stuff. Make sure you have those. When you go pruning big stuff, wear a helmet or something, bicycle helmet at least, so that if something falls on your head, you don't get caught right away. So it's just very few basic things. When you're mixing fertilizer, wear the goggles. Maybe a dust mask would be a good thing, especially for me. I'm slightly asthmatic. I like to wear a dust mask no matter what. And there are a few other of these safety concerns, especially with dust, especially with chemicals. Don't use chemicals in your garden. If you use chemicals in your garden, go to the grocery store instead. They are professionals that do that. They do it safely. I don't know how you do this in your garden. I don't want to have any of the chemicals in my garden. The one thing that I use is herbicides. I use a few things because my garden is 5 acres, so I can't really keep up with the weeding. I'll show you later what I'm going to do with my vegetables, and that's a totally different case. Now let's move a little bit and go to, I'll show you a little bit around. Here are the blueberries, for instance. Take a look at this. You don't want to really look at my face, you want to look at the real thing. Here are the blueberries in flower. This is one of the earlier varieties. That's doing quite well. The bees are in it. I'll show you the bees in a second. I've got my own bees because this makes sense, and you can too. You got to register them, and they're classified as livestock. So, an interesting fact. So here we'll just walk by the blueberries a little bit and take a look at them as we go. They're pruned by my students. They did a great job, and you see where I'm using herbicides. By the time we go to harvest, none of this is there anymore. I want to get all of these weeds gone. And you notice I have some mulch on the ground so the weeds don't come up. Just the perimeter is where I spray, so nothing goes on the plants. I don't like anything else. Here are the raspberries. They're starting to develop their flowers now. They don't look like much, and it doesn't look very good, but believe me, this is going to be a solid row, about 1.20 m in sideways, and about I'd say 8-9 feet tall, with the side shoots coming up and making the flowers, and you can see some of the flowers developing here already. Right in here, this is flowers, that is a flower right in here. So we're getting there slowly. Okay, now I'll take you to the greenhouse. I built myself that little greenhouse. It's 20 feet by 75 feet. At the time when I bought it, it was less than $5,000. Now, these days it's more expensive. That was 20 years ago when I built it. I put double plastic on it, so even in the winter, I use very little heat. That's for me important, to not have this huge carbon footprint. We can do this better here. I've got a few flowering strawberries by the end of the year. They're totally covered with strawberries. They're called lipstick, those little ones. Pink flowers, that's what's so attractive. It's purely ornamental. You can eat fruit, you can eat it, but it's not even worth it. If you come over here, there are the bananas now coming out. As soon as we see which ones are properly, we can already see it. Most of them are starting to grow out even after this lousy winter, and then we'll take all the dirt away and make it all look nice, and let's see if we can get some flowers on it too. Come into my greenhouse. In here is where we have some propagation going. We did a lot of propagation at the greenhouses at U of V. I can't really go there right now because of the COVID-19. So here in my own greenhouse, you see some of the sets. We're growing cabbages, we're growing cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, the usual. And here's where I propagate them, and we'll talk about that in another session anyway. And if you look along here, you see all of the peppers already. We grew those much earlier. Already making peppers, and the tomatoes already flowering and making fruit. The rest of this greenhouse will be all chock full of vegetables. By the time July comes along, we'll be producing so many vegetables, not even funny. You just saw a pineapple, and there's another one here and another one there. We'll trigger those, and maybe by the end of August, I'll show you what the pineapples look like. Come along again. Take a look there. Over here are the bees. I've got some of the native bees. We have got some bumblebees, we got the orchard bees, and of course we got regular, if you just walk around there and take a look here, Owen, then you'll see the bees actually flying in and out. So here they are already. Temperature is above 10 degrees Celsius. It's about 12-13 right now, so they're starting to go. I planted some extra flowers for them right over here, and I'll plant some more. If you see that tilled space over there, I'll plant more and more flowers there, all for the bees. We've got 3 more beehives coming. Hey, now I'll just quickly go with you to my tractors to show you what I play with, and I love those toys. So let's come along here. There's some more bananas over here, just coming out. And I built my own irrigation system. The irrigation system right along here, you see all the outlets. Can never have enough of those. I've got 1 horsepower pump inside the well, which is 80 feet deep. Great water, drinking water quality, as most of everything here in Chilliwack. And that is what I absolutely adore, that I'm independent from any other systems, and I can irrigate when I want. So here's my little tractor to play with. Behind it is the rototiller, and I've got some other implements, a shredder, a mower, and a grader. And that's the kind of stuff that I need. If you go just a little bit further over here, you see some of the irrigation tubing. You see, this is the beginning of the season, so you'll see a lot of stuff still flying around. But it will soon be starting to be all neat and tidy. And right here, what Owen is showing you are the potted plants. I need some of them for research trials, fertilizer trials, etc., and plant breeders' rights trials. And we've got here black currants, we've got blueberries, we've got raspberries, we've got blackberries. Anything you ever want to see, and at the end you see the strawberries. I'll pause here, and the next video will be introducing you to my vegetable bed.